I've had it coming for years. I couldn't avoid it. It was either him or me. I have been caught dead. I can't escape my fate. I've had it coming for years. I couldn't avoid it. It was either him or me. I have been caught dead. I can't escape my fate. Where will this end? Everyone dies one day. I know it more than most, as the king of the grim reapers and the judge of the dead. This is the tale how I died. It all began. Fred Alexander sat backstage in his dressing room where he worked as a stage magician, waiting on a phone for an important conference call. "You look like it's an important call, Dad," said Fred's son, who knew how his father looked when he was waiting for a call. He was jumpy and anxious. "Yes, I, Morgan, Lakelandite, and Gabriel have to work out the details of an important summit," said Fred. "Good luck with it," said his son Valentine. "Thank you," said Fred. 5 minutes later, Fred's mobile rang, and he answered it quickly. Fred Alexander speaking. "I know I called you my Emperor Sapphirus," said Morganite, the Prime Minister of the Universe, to Fred the Emperor of the Universe. "Is everyone on?" asked Fred. "Yes, I called everyone," said Morganite. "Good," said Fred. A stranger to Fred and the others hung up their mobile phone. "We lost the local emperor, Gabriel. He must be busy," said Morganite, noting the phone disconnecting from the conference call. "Was that anyone, Jeremy?" asked another reporter at the Clarion newspaper. "No, just a wrong number," said Jeremy Jones offhandedly. "Mark wants to see you about your article about the magicians," said his colleague. "Okay, thanks Greg," said Jones, walking to his editor's office to knock on his door. "Come in," called the editor, who was sitting at his desk behind piles of papers. Jones entered the room and walked to his boss to talk. "I can't publish your article. It would be bad for us to publish an article against the magicians. They are superheroes, not an alien invasion," said the editor. "I got a news scoop. I found out who their leader is," said Jones. "Who is he?" asked the curious editor. The Emperor Sapphirus was known, but who he was in real life was a mystery. "Fred Alexander, the stage magician and the king of the earth. I recognized his voice on the call," said Jones. "Call?" said the editor, puzzled. "I got called by accident by Morganite. His prime minister, the emperor, was identified," said Jones. "Oh, we can't publish it, though. It was a private phone call," said the editor. Jones rolled his eyes. "I'm serious. It is unethical publishing private phone calls," said his boss. "You can't be serious," said Jones. "I am. It could get us in big trouble with the law," said the editor. Days later, Jones stood waiting outside Fred's theater, waiting to see him with his fans after a show. He stood nervously and impatiently, waiting for the magician to leave the backstage door. "Hello, Mr. Alexander," said Jones when Fred appeared. Thinking him a fan, Fred responded jovially. "Hello, hope you didn't freeze out here while you were waiting to see me," said Fred. "It was a cold winter's night." "I'm fine, I brought a coat," said Jones. "Do you want an autograph?" asked Fred, pulling out a pen. "No, I wanted to talk to you in the pub across the road," said Jones. "I don't go to pubs, sorry," said Fred. "I need to talk to you." "I know who you are," said Jones. "Who am I meant to be?" asked Fred, laughing in his light musical tenor voice. "Sapphirus," said Jones seriously. Fred looked like a trapped rabbit. "What do you want?" said Fred, panicking. "To talk to you in the pub," said Jones. "All right," said Fred, knowing it was a trap. Val noticed he was scared. He walked up to his dad defensively. "Are you all right, Dad?" Val asked. He was like his father, a young, athletic-looking man. Neither were human, they were alien sorcerers who always looked 25. Jones felt a bit intimidated. "I'm fine, boy. I am going to the pub. I want to talk to him," lied Fred. "If it's okay, Dad," Val said. Yes, said Fred, feigning a charming smile. Fred and Jones walked to the pub. When they were there, Fred, who never drank because he was an easy drunk, but he was nervous, so he bought a drink for him and the man he didn't know. Why did you want to talk to me? Who are you? Asked Fred. I'd rather not say, Jones said, relishing the anonymity. Fred sipped his drink nervously. I know who you are, said Jones, smiling cruelly. Fred sipped again. What do you want? Asked Fred. I want you to pay me, or I'll go to the press with what I know, lied Jones, who knew his boss would have nothing to do with it. I am not rich, said the scared emperor. Give me $500 a week, you can afford that, said Jones with a smile. Yes, said Fred, lying, thinking he'd have to rob his savings. He sipped again. Jones bought Fred another drink. His glass was empty. By the time they left, Fred was drunk after drinking 2 glasses of wine. Fred left with Jones. He was so drunk that he passed out when he left the pub. Jones took him to his apartment and, oddly, laid him in a cupboard to sober up. The drunk, hungover man lay with his eyes open with a sliver of light streaming in his eyes, blinding his eyes, as his head was killing him. He heard the man's voice fumbling over an enchantment. He got it wrong. Fred was so drunk, he shouted out the correct enchantment. The man repeated it outside the cupboard and thanked his inebriated friend. The man left the drunk to himself and came back. When the man came back, the drunk was asleep. He looked at the drunken emperor with disgust. He stabbed him in the heart with a knife he'd bought for the job and left him to die as he watched TV for a while. Then he stripped the corpse to get ready to dispose of it. Fred was left there in a pool of his own blood, stone dead, and no one missed him as his wife didn't live with him. It was promising to be a while before he was missed.